Yes, in continuation this the lesson. When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said with pretended casualness, "Hey, let us go and see. Let us go and see if that kid was left town or not." So Peggy had had the same idea. Maddie gloat. Peg was really all right. The two girls hurried out of the building, up the street towards Bogan's Heights, the part of the town that bore such a forbidden air on this kind of a November afternoon. Drizzly, damp, and dismay. The meaning of damp and dismay, wet and sad, here expressing a state of hopelessness, forbidding, unfriendly, or threatening in nature. So, explanation of this paragraph. That day, after the school had ended, Peggy asked Maddie if they could go and check if Wanda has moved or not. Maddie was satisfied at the thought that they both had same plans of apologizing to Wanda. Both of them hurried to Bogan's Heights, the place where Wanda lived, in order to find her. During this season, the place was generally wet and the atmosphere was sad and hopeless. "Well, at least," said Peggy gruffly, "I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. I thought she was too dumb. And Gee, look how she can draw." Maddie could say nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry they had picked on her, and how wonderful the whole school thought she was, and please not to move away. Everybody would be nice. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get to the top of the hill before dark. The explanation of this paragraph is Peggy tries to comfort herself by murmuring that at least she did not call her a foreigner because she was an immigrant. Neither did she make her feel different for having an unfamiliar name. She was always in her delusion that Wanda had no idea that those girls were making fun of her. Above all, Wanda is such a great artist too. Maddie, on the other hand, could not say a word. What she hoped for is a chance of confess, make amends, appreciate her, and try to stop her from moving away. In fact, she even thought of conveying her idea to protect Wanda if anyone tried to trouble her in any way in order to reach the place before night. They hurried. The lesson next paragraph is I think that is where the Petrosks live, said Maddie, pointing to a little white house. Wisps of old grass stuck up here and there along the pathway like thin kittens. The house and the sparse little yard looked shabby but clean. It reminded Maddie of Wanda's one dress, her faded blue cotton dress, shabby but clean. There was not a sign of life about the house. Peggy knocked firmly on the door. And but there was no answer. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. Still there was no answer. Still there was no answer. So explanation of this paragraph is, they saw a white little house up there, which they thought was the place where Wanda Pentrosky lived. The house and its surroundings were shabby but clean, just like Wanda's worn out blue dress. Thin branches of grass grew along the path that led to the house. They resembled thin kittens. No one could be seen around the house. They knocked both at the front and the backyard door, but but to their disappointment, there was no answer. There was